So here now, former Secretary of Energy under President Trump and former Governor of Texas, Rick Perry. We wanted to just briefly speak to Mr. Allen just to, sort of bring this home, Governor Perry. You called this. How do you see this move by the Biden administration? Because it seems like, as I said in the introduction, they're trying to have it both ways. We're against the pipeline. We don't want it to happen, but we're lifting the sanctions on the guy who runs the company.
Well, first, on a personal note, I wish the vice president and the president would go meet with these pipeline workers, explain to them what their strategy is, why a union pipeline worker would ever support the Democrat Party again. I mean, it's to me, this is the great tragedy of the 21st century at this particular point in time, because we just are finishing up this pandemic that has throttled so many workers. And then one of the first things the Biden administration does is shut down a pipeline that's vital to our national security. It's vital to the jobs that are being created. And then, I mean, this is Biden in Wonderland. When you think about it, the world upside down, shutting down a pipeline in the United States. At the same time, you're giving the thumbs up to the Russians on a pipeline that is going to literally strangle Europe and put the energy under the control of Vladimir Putin, who knows viciously how to use it. Matter of fact, it's the only tool that he has at hand that he can actually move the levers of. So that's the reason I said that outside of when Obama, Biden, and their inattention to what was going on in Ukraine, and we lost Crimea to the Russians, I can't think of a team that Russia would like any more than Biden-Harris.
Yeah. My mind just goes back to these stories about the president in the Oval Office talking to Kislyak and Lavrov, and what did he say? And then, we never got the transcript from this other conversation with Putin and what's going on behind closed doors and all of this scrutiny, and the president's a Russian agent. But then you look at the actual actions here with regard to this pipeline and in a number of other ways. Here's Jen Psaki when she was asked about the pipeline today. Watch this.
When the president took office, 95% of this pipeline was built. We've continued to convey that we believe it's a bad idea, a bad plan, and we have also put in place and taken actions over the last several days to make that clear.
One of the reasons it's being given here is that the Germans want this to go through. I remember President Trump, had discussions with Angela Merkel about the, wanting to dissuade them from this. What do you say to Jen Psaki there?
Yeah, the Germans are making money. Germans are making big money on this deal. They're getting to will the power. They're getting to literally will the power of the gas and the power of the money of being able to control it. So, of course, the Germans want to go make a deal. To hell with the rest of the European allies over there. So I don't know. I'm not sure that reality, if it hit Ms. Psaki in the face, that she would understand it. Reality is, even though there's only 5% of the pipeline left to go, there's no gas flowing through it.
Right.
So keep that in mind. We had stopped that. We had put sanctions into place. And here's what needs to happen. The United States Congress needs to investigate this and need to make sure that sanctions that were put in place by Congress are listened to, and this president can't just throw them out because he wants to make a deal with Putin.
Just before we go, very quickly, this is Dick Durbin, because we know that Senator Menendez and Senator Shaheen have been vocal about their opposition to this pipeline, and here is Senator Durbin. Watch.
Very concerned, and I think we've expressed that concern in the previous administration and in this one as well. I can see that Russia has an opportunity here. They're trying to use it, but I'm afraid they have misused it so much in the past that we have to be skeptical.
Bipartisan concern here, sir.
Yeah, should be.
Pardon me? I missed what you said there.
It should be. I mean, there should be bipartisan concern. This is Russia putting America's interest in Europe in jeopardy. And if the Biden administration doesn't see that, I'm telling you, they stun me every day in their ignorance about what's going on.
Former Secretary Perry, former Governor Perry, great to see you, sir. Thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.